softness is probably that tied up in it.
Yeah, I think so. And you know, I have an iPad now, and I've tried really hard to get into the to that drawing with your finger thing. Yeah, and it's cool, but I don't know. It's like I can't because you got your finger right, and there's a smooth surface underneath, which is cool, but there's no like putting a material onto another material thing. There's no actual transfer of anything, so it's cold in a way. It's cool having the images right there, but it just doesn't work. I don't know, for me.
And yes.
I had a word we're talking about time, because I get migraines too, and that's like and but I can see how it can relate to the drawings. Like, can you talk about, like you just said, when you do your drawings, like this kind of work happens, and I sort of feel like it's really like it's like I'm learning too, like, oh, maybe go for a certain amount of hours, and but I couldn't really end on it, but then there's this other world that goes on.
Yeah, that's totally true. It is similar. It's kind of odd.
Yeah, it seems like it's a little bit, because I'm also an artist, and I never thought about it until you were talking about it. Yeah, you just kind of, you sort of say, okay, I'm going to go this way for a while, and you know.
And you don't really realize it until after you're back into the real world, right? But yeah, migraine does have a strange way of time stops. So you've got someone who has a migraine. If there's a schedule, everyone's going their pace, and the person who has a migraine sort of drops out of that timeline.
And it goes somewhere else.
Somewhere else, and on a different kind of time, because nothing happens. It's this very sort of isolating kind of thing, and everyone else is going about their business, and it's and yeah, it is the same. It's kind of odd, yeah.
Yeah, because it's like the way, like, that trap image in there, like, you've done all these different variations on it.
Yeah, the trap drawings are really migraine drawings. Those ones, we didn't talk about those, but those are like layers of...
It feels like you're always like going around and reworking that image. Like,
Right.
I mean, that just seems so migraine-ish.
Those drawings are reworked. They're like this thing where it's a thing drawn, and then I come like sort of erase out, and then there's another. They're in the middle somewhere. They're
Toward the end, actually.
Yeah, toward the end.
Phase 4.
Stage
Stage
5.
Yes.
Stage 5.
Are they actual crab traps? Like, did you do research? Because they resemble exactly
research, yeah.
crab traps.
I did research it, and then I completely went off somewhere else on them. But because I was just like, these are the coolest objects, right? And I was trying to draw the water somehow. Draw air, draw water, draw space between the front and the back of the thing. So those drawings are actually like 3 layers of paper drawn on the front and the back and the front and the back, like that. So if you see the drawings, they're like, and there are some up in the show tomorrow night, they're like, yeah, layers of, and they're just ridiculous to draw, because I would draw these like, pieces of straw, and then, or what they're made of, and then flip it over and have to make sure that this one's not overlapping that one, and this one's not overlapping that one. That's migraine. Like, that's so migraine-y.
Tell people about this show tomorrow where they can go to see your work, because her original work is actually going to be on the walls to be seen, and as everyone knows, what you see printed in a book bears no resemblance to the actual thing. So
these drawings from the book, they're going to be at Adam Baumgold's gallery, which is at 60 East 66th Street. I have cards here if anybody wants to grab some at the end of it here. And it's almost the whole book. I mean, it's mostly the tonal drawings, so it's like 100 of them. They start, you pretty much do the book like that, around the room. And then some other drawings that are related toward the back. But it's 6 o'clock tomorrow night, 6 to 8, I think.
Just talk a little bit about your process. Do you sort of think through and then storyboard it out, or do you log right hand panel? Do you want to run away?
I used to do that. I mean, my process was very much, I think, like most comic book artists. It was very, I would write it in a longhand and then, excuse me, thumbnail it. But now, with this was more like, I'd have a headache, and I'd have a bunch of images that came out of that headache, and I'd make those drawings, and then, I'd have a few days where I would do line drawings or trap drawings, and then I'd have another headache, and then I'd probably from drawing, and then I would make the drawings from that, and it was like that. All the sort of, because there's the dog with the straw all over him and stuff, and that was sort of a stage. That was was thinking about that a lot, and yeah, so that it was really not following any kind of process like that.
The worst thing is looking in the mirror. Oh, God. You look and feel like a monster because your eyes obviously are, like you feel your eyes are like this.
And do you find that other people can tell you have a headache from looking at you?
I'm at home. Whenever I used to get monster migraines. You're talking about moderate migraines
Yeah.
where you're able to stand on your feet.
Yeah.
Well, that's fine. You can put on makeup and, put on sunglasses or whatever you put out. But a monster where you're flat out. You know how overpowering that is.
I've had
You're
those.
completely broken. You are in bed, 36, whatever it is, the scariest thing was looking in the mirror.
Well, I always think it's, my husband says, do you have a headache? Because it is really on your face, like you can really see it. And you don't realize it, of course, you're walking around, and you look in the mirror and oh my God, I'm green.
Well, lucky they have to, like you say, they have different medications.
The medicine.
Especially the nose, the nasal spray.
I was wondering about how you said you were having such a hard time relating the right versus the left, making sure they did correlate. But I was wondering if you were so much against the traditional narrative, or it appears so, do you see yourself going in a completely non-sequitur direction in your future books?
The next book I'm doing is actually a kid's book.
Yeah.
And so it's going to be, there will be words and story. And so no, I'm going back that way again. But I think because it's in a different, I think I can separate that from my work. So I think that after that, I'm probably going to ricochet back into, I don't know what. Because I keep going back to this thing, this torturous story that Myla was talking about before, that came before this, that I put in the closet because it was just torturing me. But and that has narration, and that's a narrative, but it's like objects telling a story. So it's not the classic either. It's kind of like artifacts of something ending up telling a story based on what's left over, kind of thing. That doesn't make sense.
One more, maybe? Yes. So, when you look at this book now, after you've done all the work and everything, is it cathartic, or like, do you relive the headaches when you're like, oh, I remember that was really bad, or like, do you remember your headaches, I guess? And then, especially, do you remember them more when you look at this, or is this like a happy?
I think, actually, I'm really happy with the way the book, I think of it more in a, we struggled with it. Dan Nadell and I were struggling so much with the paper and getting it just right, and I'm really happy with how it came out, and I don't look at it really. Like, I sat down here to look at it to make sure I knew what was in it so that we could talk about it. But like, once a book is done, I kind of don't look at it anymore. It's out of there. But yeah, when I look at it, I do remember the headaches, but I really kind of and every book is cathartic, definitely. When it's done, it is cathartic. But I'm on to the next thing.
Thank you for coming. Thank you, Renee, for all your
Thank you.
questions. Buy the book. Thank you.